Yeah, man. We back in the building, live from the green room. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Tone Rock.
Joe Fox in the building.
Trey Elliot is running a little late. He said a last-minute gig popped up, so he's going to handle that business, get that money. Then he's going to find his way to the studio to shoot episode number...
It's 43.
43 strong. Steelers fans, we know 43 is Troy Polamalu. That's just some random Steeler number shit.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact.
Yeah, and we lost to the Cowboys this weekend, so I was very upset about that. But neither here nor there. That's why this is my therapy.
All right.
I definitely want to introduce this dude, to get this dude a proper introduction. Let me tell you something about this guy right here. This guy right here, whenever he and I are in the same venue, any type of movie screening, any type of function, Hollywood, LA function, that can usually get very stuffy and pretentious.
Right.
Me and this dude find the food.
That's what he said.
And we eat like two little fat kids while everybody else doing whatever they're doing, trying to network. We just like, yo, like I'll see him across from like, yo, you had the chicken skewers? And he like, yo, you had the mini burgers? I'm like, yo, we were like, yo, we'll just eat the whole time and be laughing and cracking jokes.
All right.
Always a good time when I see this cat at any function. Super funny, actor, comedian, dancer, choreographer, filmmaker, hardworking man, Affion Crockett in the building, y'all.
Come on, man. My guy.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. I was like, yo, I gotta start with that. I gotta start.
That was love. That's love.
We'll be in a function, and he like, yo,
we the skinny niggas.
Yeah, we already said it. Yo, skinny niggas, what's food at?
Skinny niggas gotta eat.
I'll see him and be like, yo, they got pizza over there. He like, word, pizza?
Right.
And we just be eating while everybody's trying to network or whatever.
The other place we always see each other is the airport, and that's how I know we good. Like,
Yes,
when I'm like,
right.
yo, he going somewhere or he coming back to get the bag. I always see Tone at the airport or at a function where we looking for food. So life is good.
You know, it's cool when you see your fellow comedians at the connection flight. You know, at the connection. Yo, you from across hall. You can't.
Oh, you know it's not cool when you walk into your seat and you get that arm from first class. Yo, what up? And you look at his comment. You're like, damn, I'm in 13B.
You gotta walk all the way back.
I'm in exit row.
I know. I got a little room to stretch my legs.
I met what's my man? Young boy rapper. I was in first class. He was across the row, like one seat up. YFN, NL.
I know you're talking about
NLE Chopper. NLE Chopper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the plane and I get on, I headphones, shades. I'm like just trying to read or watch the tablet. And the lady tapped me like, this young man is trying to get your attention. I looked and he was like, and I know the face, of course, like, oh, yo, but we never met.
Right.
So I was like, oh, what up, man? What's good? So when we got off in Dallas Connection, he stopped, got off and waited for me. And I was like, oh shit, what's up, man? Like, but I be forgetting sometimes like these cats grew up on us.
Yo, I feel so old. And it's like, I be feeling bad because I don't know some of these guys.
Right.
It's not no diss to them. I just literally, I'm old now. I'm an old nigga now.
Youngsters,
and I don't know what these kids are listening to. So I hear a new name pop up, you know what I mean? Like a little couch cushion. Like, what? Who the fuck is this nigga?
Yes.
But they be fans and they be like, yo, it's love. And I be like, oh yeah, I gotta, you act like you know. You see the chain. You be like,
I saw his face. I'm like, I know this cat.
I know Chopper, but there's some other ones.
Like, yo, I'm going here. I've got a gig. And he's like, I'm about to shoot this independent. And, let me get your math, man. I was like, oh, yeah, hit me. And I was like walking away like, he seemed a little exuberant. You know what I'm saying? And I thought like, oh, that's right. These cats grew up on me. They watched me for
for years.
Before they even got in the studio, I was like, yo, let's watch this dude.
And because we be on a grind, like it's such a grind for us still that we're like, not that it's hard times, but it's like we just focused on doing our shit. We forget what we did.
Right.
5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Because that was the work. It's like you on to the next.
You go on to the next.
You know what's crazy? That's so true because people will say to me in airports or anywhere, hey man, I saw you last week. And I'm like, oh, in Cleveland? Like whatever club I was at. I was like, nah, I was watching your movie last week. Oh, that's right. Oh shit, I'm on TV too. I forgot. Like I'm thinking about like the here and now. And then like we watch your stuff that lives out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it could be the video. It could be like something I just watched you on YouTube.
Right.
You don't know
That's
what
the
they
thing.
saw.
We have so much stuff out that we don't realize people come across it every day.
Right.
So you started out. We're gonna get to your whole story. So
let's get to
interesting trajectory here. You started out as a dancer.
Yeah. I'm a dancer first. Like I had no aspirations to be a comedian. I didn't come up in that world. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid. I was actually living in Germany. My dad's an army guy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. See, I did not.
Grew up in Germany.
I grew up in Germany from age 6 to 10. And then we went back again from 12 to 16 for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So literally everything that I experienced from hip hop growing in the 80s, I experienced it mostly in Germany.
Right.
And so I was getting, my cousins from New York would send us videos and cassette tapes, the mixtape, the early Ron G mixtapes, and just different DJs from New York that was always on the air. And that's where I learned about hip hop. My first concert was in Germany, Run DMC and Beastie Boys.
But you know what? Wow. You probably have a deeper appreciation, excuse me.
1,000%.
You probably have a deeper appreciation because it wasn't so readily available.
1,000%.
Like I always say, people in other countries, like their education, that shit is so important to them to be educated because everything is not so like Africa. Like
they put more value on.
They put such an emphasis on education because it's so hard for them to get to education.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True,
that they really then they come over here like, oh, these motherfucking Americans don't give a fuck about all this knowledge just out here.
They don't have
you know what I mean?
They have a different appreciation.
And that's what it was with we noticed it with a lot of guys from New York. Cause New York is the Mecca, right? For hip hop.
Right.
So we would be like emulating everything we saw. We watched Beat Street, nigga. We had every beat, every move from the battle down. We knew every rhyme Kumo D spit, everything that happened in all those movies, Wild Style. And so when we would go to New York and like actually get in ciphers and dance.
You're saying we, like you and your siblings?
Me and my siblings, me and my dance crew.
Okay.
This is before, again, before comedy.
What's the name of your dance crew?
We would know Twin Flex.
And what was your name?
Flex.
Okay.
Because I'm the skinny, flexible nigga.
Okay.
And there's two twins that was my partners.
Okay.
But we would notice that we actually could hang with or even smoke some of these guys in New York because they took it for granted that they lived in New York and they was just nice.
Right.
Most New Yorkers like, I'm from New York,
They thought they was like solidified because stamped and approved because they was from New York.
Yeah, and so they was surprised to see these kids from North Carolina that would come up and could really get down. And so that's what my hip hop experience was, what you just said. Not being in the Mecca, not being from it, we appreciated it so much more that we worked even harder so that we could be accepted when we got there. Right. And then we got there, we was like, yo, we better than a lot of these niggas.
So you never went to any formal training or any type of performing arts school or anything like that?
When I went to college at Fayetteville State University, and I did take like ballet, jazz for like a year. Because for me, I took karate when I was a kid. Okay. So the foundation of ballet is very similar to karate, structure-wise. And my favorite dancer, I found out that this nigga was like, he was a hip-hop dancer, but he had ballet roots. Okay. And if you EPMD's dancer, Fendi.
The
light-skinned dude, yeah. Fendi had this style that was like, yo, this dude's an alien. And so when I heard that he was taking all that stuff and the flexibility of it all, it made me say, all right, let me try to take it. And then there's a lot of hoes in ballet.
There's a lot of
hoes in ballet.
It always goes back to the core of why men do anything.
It's always about
I'm trying to learn this and trying to appreciate this, and also a lot of hoes.
It's a lot of ladies.
So because I tried to do a fair amount of research on you. I mean, I know you've done so much. What a lot of people don't know is that Affion is another a legendary pioneer in the 90s. As a dancer on Def Comedy Jam. So so that was big. It's like I
can't even take that accolade because literally
but you were there though.
I was there. I was there for sure. And that was Bob Sumner. So
shout out Bob Sumner.
Shout out to Bob Sumner.
Wait, before you go to the story, shout out our sponsor as well, Captain Kirk's Jamaican Rum Punch. Always start the show off because I'm about to have one of these bad boys right here and enjoy this.
Got to pay the bill.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, got to pay the bill.
So Bob Sumner was influential in getting you on?
He was a scout. Like, Bob Sumner's so influential and responsible for 90% of the people that we know as legends today for Def Comedy Jam. Mm-hmm. So he discovered me in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone, the original Comedy Zone. Not the one that's there now.
Yeah. The original that's there now looks like the original. If you said the original,
no, it doesn't.
No, I'm saying you would think this must be the first one. The way that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right. You right.
You think this is the newer one?
It's rundown.
Amazing club though. Shout out to Charlotte.
Yeah. Shout out to Hef in the Comedy Zone. But anyway, the old Comedy Zone on Independence Boulevard, and it was a movie in there every Tuesday. That was when Def Comedy Jam was at its highest. So everybody that was somebody would come through. It was that Tuesday night. Like, it was like Fat Tuesdays, but before Fat Tuesdays in North Carolina.
Wow.
Crazy. Shout out to Nate Smith too. Nate Smith that used to run with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
He was the promoter that brought everybody through on those Tuesday nights.
Nate from North Carolina?
I don't know if he's from North Carolina, but that's where I met him.
Okay.
That's where he was living for a while. So Nate would bring Joe Claire, Talent, Earthquake, everybody, Pierre, everybody, Monique. I met everybody at that joint. So yeah, that's where Bob saw me audition for Def Jam. He put me on. I wasn't even ready, but he put me on months after I auditioned. And when we was in New York, he said, "Hey man, after you come out here and turn it out on the stage, I want you to go on and dance with the dancers too." Because at the time, I was still dancing like full time, heavy. Right. He said, "I want you to turn it out and show these niggas you can really get down."
Okay, so you touched the mic and you
20 minutes later, I came out and
oh, that's fire.
And rock with the dancers.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's dope.
But I only did it once. So a lot of people assume that I was a dancer at the end of Def Comedy Jam.
Right. And
that's not true. Like those guys, those are the guys I look up to, like the Mop Top crew, K-Mel, before he even got into b-boying. But yeah.
That's funny. We had Leslie on last week. Leslie Siegel.
Oh yeah.
Big Les.
Big Les, yeah.
She was saying the Mop Top crew. She referenced them last week too.
Listen, pioneers. I'm sure Les told the story, but I mean, they went on to do all it. Remember the Time?
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's whole situation, and just their style was just so, the funk and the culture that they represented in dance, ridiculous. But those are the GOATs for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dope. Shout out to those
when
guys.
it comes to like freestyle hip hop dance,
getting busy.
Yes.
Okay, but we speed a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
You went from ballet in
Germany,
like Def Jam. Yeah. So I mean, I want to know like about that transition. So you was immersed in the culture of hip hop.
Yeah.
Dancing for recreation, or you was doing shows? What was?
No, we were so we had like everybody, we had a rap group.
Right.
My older brother was the lead rapper, and we had a female co-lead or whatever. It was like on some Fuji shit.
Yeah.
But me and my guys, the twins, we were the dancers. And what I noticed was every time we would do shows around Fayetteville, we're now in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right? This is after Germany. Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm in high school, almost about to go to college. We're now the go-to local group. And this is before J. Cole and any of it. Like we are the local group that they go to open up all the big shows.
So whoever comes to town, y'all open.
Whoever comes to town.
Dope.
We're talking X-Clan, Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature, EPMD, K-Solo, Redman. We're talking about everybody who was somebody. We was the people that they would go to. We was the group. And so, but what I noticed was, and me and my older brother, we always had tension. It was, you know how it is having brothers, right?
Yo,
we always had tension.
Say no more.
Nigga, the tension was him believing that they was coming to see him and he was the star of the group. And I was like, you the leader. I give you that respect. But if you notice the trend, every time they start screaming is when we're dancing. So what does that tell you, nigga?
They came to see us.
And we got into this big argument. And that was the day I said, I bet. This is when I didn't even realize it, but I was probably like 17. But this is when my business mind started to kick in.
Okay.
I said, all right, bro. How about we separate? You go do your rap shit, and we'll just be dancers with no rap in front of us. And we'll just go perform, and let's see who does what with what.
Right.
Nigga, 6 months later, we're on Showtime at the Apollo.
Oh! Wow.
So have you ever seen the clip I posted?
Yeah, I saw it.
With Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when that shit happened. That's 92.
Man.
So just dancing. We just was like, nah, we believe that we're stars enough, or that we are talented enough to be in the forefront and not have to dance behind anybody. So my mind was already clicking as a teenager that I could be somebody and take my talent and flip it.
Plus, we're glossing over something major here. We're glossing over something, an astronomical key for everybody watching. Sometimes in life, there is no greater motivation than proving a motherfucker wrong.
Yep.
That's the gem.
Nothing will push you more. Like, yo,
and as
I
you
just
well know,
show this motherfucker.
And not just any motherfucker, your older brother.
Yeah.
Because your older brother, like my older brother was the guy. When it comes to dancing, he was the nigga that everybody feared. when we first started, like as a group, he was the guy. And I was always just little bro, just trying to keep up. And then there came a time when it was around between 15 and 17 when I just really I just hit that magic moment where it was like, Jordan talks about it. Jordan talks about his older brother. That's who he wanted to be in the backyard. Until he beat his older brother, he felt like he hadn't arrived. So it was everything. It was me being able to dance better than my brother, me being able to fight my brother and beat him. Those were the two things that I was like, he always like would get the best of me or bully me or all that kind of shit.
Right. He took karate too as well?
Nah, he was just a nigga. He was just a nigga that looked like the bully his little brother.
Nah, he was just
but yeah, when I started doing martial arts and wrestling and all that shit, and he was always stronger than me. But I remember one day, it was early in college. He came down to the dorm and you know, I'm there with all my friends and shit. And now it's when you come into your own and now you got your own entourage. You're not chasing big bro anymore. So I'm standing there, he trying to sun me in front of my guys.
Oh, no.
In the hallway, right? I was like, I ain't even say nothing. At this point, my bravado was there. I was just like, today's the day.
Now.
I ain't even say nothing. We didn't get into like a fight, but it was a wrestling joint. Like I just grabbed him by the shoulders and I was like, let's get to it. And we started going and he couldn't get the best of me. It was about a tie, but in his mind, he was like, oh man, I'm smoking too many cigarettes or whatever.
something.
It was something.
Something was holding.
It wasn't an easy victory. Like
it was not. No, it was literally a tie.
Oh, okay.
And normally, like I said, he was always stronger than me. And he would always get the best of me, pin me or whatever, or beat my ass. But that was the day when I was like, nah, fuck that.
That's so crazy because I have 3 older brothers. My oldest brother, Charles Shabazz, he changed his name to Shabazz later on, was my hero. So he was the one that was like, if I could be as good at basketball, if I could box as good, if I could play football as good, he was that guy. Chris, we were cool. We was always like, you know, kind of stayed out of his way. Because he was bullied as a kid. So me being the kid that was like outside and fighting and shit, I was like, oh, I'll just fight for him. Like, so if he got in problems in the street, I would fight on his behalf.
How many years are y'all apart, you and Chris?
Quite a few years.
Okay.
It's a Hollywood thing. They want to keep
I got you.
So, and then I have a brother Andre under Chris. That's the motherfucker. To this day, if he walked in here, we might be fighting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that would be the brother that you would contend with.
The most selfish person I ever met in my life. And I'm the kid that's like, shirt off my back. Here, last $1. Here, have it. Yeah. So I never understood how he was always like, yo, me, mine. I would always be like, yo, how you live like that? Like, what's wrong with you, man? But Andre like this.
Right.
So literally, as kids, it would be like, yo, we got to jump Andre. We got to fuck with Andre. Like, yo, Andre's arguing with Chrissy. Chrissy's like, yo. I'm like, I know. Andre's arguing with Brian. Brian's like, hey, man, don't leave the room. We got to jump this motherfucker.
Jump the brother.
And it's always been tension. Like, as we got older, it started to kind of calm down because we just men doing our own things. He has a family, I have a family. So it's like, all right, we just don't knuckle up like that as much. But it's still there.
It happens. Yeah.
It's underlying.
You can't have brothers and not have that
tension between brothers.
Yeah, like it's just there. And so that competitive nature, but it's the thing that shapes us, right? It's what makes us who we are.
Right.
Your brother is your first best friend, your first enemy, and your first
that's true.
Depending on who he is,
that's true.
Your first inspiration, or the nigga that you're like, I don't ever want to be like that.
That's, you know what I mean? That's so true. Because my oldest brother, his name is Charles, right? My father named him Charles. Years later, he changed his name to Shabazz, quit his job. I'm not working for the white man, all that. My father being from the dirt in South Carolina, I can't fathom what he was saying here. You don't want to work. My father don't care who you work for.
Right.
You just don't want to work for, you don't want to work for you. Like the white man owned the business, but you don't want to work for you. You don't want to have. And we saw his life spiral out of control. Like, literally, I remember going to his job with him when I was a kid, and he had his name on the door. Oh. And had the desk with his name on it and would press the button and, hey, would come in. And he was like, give my brother some.
He was a manager.
Give my brother some Happy Meals. Go get some Happy Meals. And she was like, okay, Mr. Rock. And we was like, yo. And we in his office with our toys, and he just like, yo, just close the door. And he's on the phone taking phone calls. Like, and we were like, yo, and then get off work and take us to the gym, and he would box. That's why I boxed, because he boxed.
I heard the legend,
and
nigga,
he would.
I heard the legend of Tony's hand. When I first got to LA.
Oh yeah.
So he would play ball on the weekends, and I would just sit on the side and watch him play basketball on the weekend. And after he quit his job and changed his name, spiraled out of control.
Wow.
And he was the one, like you said, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
Chris was, of course,
right.
Like, nigga,
right.
Yo, I got to get that. I got it. Yo, he's doing what? And I love it too. Man. And he made it real. Like, because Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and George Carlin, never met them, never had a conversation with them. They were ideals. But then when the guy in the next room started doing the thing I loved, it was like, oh, wait, a real person attainable. That I can touch
tangible
is doing this thing. It made it so real for me. It pulled the curtains back on everything. It was like, oh, I can really step into this world, because he did. So he was that guy. But Andre, always, I'm gonna punch him in his face. It's
arch
always,
nemesis.
To this day, I might just be like, yo, just for old time's sake,
I'm gonna take off on you.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard about the legend of Tony Rock, nigga. It's so funny. You know how comedians, you know, the culture of comedy is it's like a frat house.
It's a rap.
Yeah,
it's rap music. It's the competition, the same competition as rap music.
All of it.
And
it's gossip.
It's also fraternity, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like the real world. We just don't all live together.
Yeah.
It's like a reality show with comedians. But yeah, I heard.
I agree with that.
You know, you had the two-piece.
Yeah.
You had a two-piece situation.
Oh, man, he said two-piece too. That's all it took.
Okay, so wait. So what's the transition from you on 6 months? 6 months later, you on
Apollo
to stand-up comedy.
So the twins, my dance partners, and this is at a time when North Carolina was transitioning where it was all D-boy shit.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was more interested in that. And if you remember, 92 was actually when the rap game purposely changed. And there's a whole conspiracy about when that happened and that big meeting that happened or whatever. Yeah. But it
about
purposely,
the record labels?
Yes.
Oh, you heard, okay,
Yeah. So 92 is when rap changed to more violence and more gangster, you know what I'm saying? We opened the show for EPMD in early 92. And I asked him, I was like, yo, what's Fendi? Where's the dancers at? And literally Eric said to me, no more dancers in rap. This is 92. So it all coincided with.
Yeah, it can't be happy anymore.
Can't be happy. And it all, even Hammer came back with a, you know, he took the shiny shit off. He had you know what I mean?
He threw
pumps in a bump, but he had
just like Jodeci and shit with the leather.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was like everybody was changing the image up, the tone was changing. And so there wasn't a lot of dance happening anyway. In Fayetteville, there's not a lot to do. It's known to be a crime city.
Yeah.
But that's the nickname is Vietnam. So it's like everybody just became, you know, all the dancers I knew either got shot, was dying, or got into that life, or got locked up. And my twins, they got saved, super saved, and got into the church.
Oh, okay.
Heavy. And they was like, yeah, we can't dance. That's the devil's music. And they went all the way to the left with it. So I was like, all right, I ain't about to go that way. What is it left for me to do? I ain't gonna go to no parties and just dance by myself, because I still love to dance. But Def Comedy Jam was blazing hot at the time, right? And that's when I used to watch everything from Martin hosting that bitch, Kid Capri DJing that joint, the hottest comedians at the time, Bernie, Bill Bellamy, Chris Tucker. Like, it just was that show. And then on top of that, you see our favorite rappers will be in the crowd, in the VIP booth.
Wait, and a lot of hoes.
A lot of hoes. a lot of hoes.
Yeah.
And then the dancers. So Def Comedy Jam had everything
right,
that I love and that I am at that time.
Together.
Right.
The only thing I hadn't done yet was try comedy. I didn't even realize I could be a comedian. So the connective tissue was, in 92, I was still in college. So the niggas I used to hang with in college were the niggas. They was the ones, like, the thug niggas, but they were the funniest niggas in the world. And they would sit at the lunch table and bag on every nigga that walked in. Every girl, it didn't matter who the fuck you was. They was bagging. They was those guys.
Right.
Like, you don't want to walk past these guys if you see them. They're like the Fat Albert in the gang, but just on times 10. I used to just sit with them. I was like, fuck that. I ain't going to run from the smoke. I'm going to sit with these niggas and get to learn who these guys are. One day I did Homer Simpson's voice for some random ass reason. We was talking about the food. And I did Homer Simpson's voice. One of them niggas, the funniest of the nigga started laughing so hard, he started crying. And he was like, man, yo, do that Homer shit again, man. I was like, come on, man. I started doing the shit. And not too long after that, I saw Cool Bubba Ice's Def Jam set.
Oh, man. Yo, wait. Oh, go ahead. I'll put a button.
But you know where I'm going with this.
Go.
That was what Cool Bubba Ice helped me understand, that there's different genres of comedy, right? And that you can do different things. I was always under the impression that you got to be able to write jokes. I didn't consider myself a funny person.
Right.
I'm an artist. I'm a dancer. I'm a rapper. Cool Bubba Ice did all impressions on Def Jam and had the cat in the hat, the big colorful clown outfit, and he was like animated. I'm already a dancer. I already know how to work the stage. I had already done Apollo at that time. So I was like, I can make it in New York. I know niggas in New York at the Apollo loved us, right? Just from my stage presence and what we was doing. And I was like, man, I do a lot of voices just for fun. I made this thug nigga laugh. This goofy thug nigga, I made him cry laughing. What if I try to put a set together like Cool Bubba Ice and try to go on Def Comedy Jam or try to do stand-up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was literally what clicked for me.
Let me say something. I have studied stand-up comedy probably my whole life. I could speak at Harvard on stand-up, writing the premise and callback and have the message. And I could literally sit and talk to Rhodes scholars about stand-up comedy. And they would go, man, this guy really has immersed himself in this life and can speak on it on so many levels. But Cool Bubba Ice, I throw all that shit out the window when it come to him, because that motherfucker,
he don't turn it off,
has me in stitches.
He has the thing.
Yo, I saw Cool Bubba Ice one time in New York. Bruh, to this day, if I see him in the airport or if I'm in New York and I'm eating in a restaurant, he walk past, I just bust out laughing. Like, he one of those cats that's so funny to me. I start laughing just looking at him.
Right.
Yo, this dude is phenomenal, man.
It's like turning on a TV
what he does.
show. It's like turning the TV on
in his lane.
But what I'm saying, right, for his lane, all that other, intellectual and, he's so highbrow and I love that he's a political. Cool Bubba Ice ain't none of that.
He's just funny.
He's just so funny
and highly entertaining.
Oh my God, this dude is so funny.
And there was a few New York guys like that in that category at that time. Rob Stapleton. I mean, they're still around today, right? But these Rob Stapleton, JB Smooth.
Oh my God, yes.
High energy.
Jay, comedian Jay out of Jersey.
Jay.
Just Jay. You don't know Jay?
No.
I'll have to pull him up.
Okay. Still doing it?
I believe, yeah. Jay's still out there doing it. But this nigga, first time I saw him was the night before I taped Def Jam. And we're just all, everybody's...
Who's Cool Bubba Ice or Jay?
Jay.
Okay.
I'm talking about Jay specifically. Jay's set was he had the whole theater grabbing shit. He was that, like, the nigga did, I don't want to stand up, but the nigga did, he came out on stage, he's like, yo, I love this comedy shit. A nigga from New York, Jersey, we can do anything the fuck we want. He stood with his one leg back, like a bird type shit, and just stood there. And everybody was just like, the way he did it,
some silly shit.
It was just so stupid. And I'm fucking up the joke, but it was definitely you had to be there. But no, Jay is one of those guys too, man. And it was those guys that showed me you have a lane. Even though I could be very cerebral. Like, I'm very Carlin sometimes. I'm very push against the system and I call out a lot of shit. But sometimes niggas just need to laugh. Sometimes a fart joke is just funnier than, what the political policies is going on right now. Like, So yeah, Cool Bubba. That was he was the connective tissue. And also I got to shout out Flex Alexander because Flex is a dancer.
Yeah, Flex is a dancer as well. Right.
With the Mop Top crew.
Yeah.
So Flex ain't just a nigga that can dance. He was with the elites. He was in all those videos, Salt and Pepper.
Yep.
He was with all those people. And then I saw him transition into comedy. He did Apollo as an actual booked comedian. He did Def Comedy Jam. And my nickname was Flex too. Yeah. So it was him and Cool Bubba was the two that was like, I can make it out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, doing this stand-up shit.
Right.
At first I thought it was gonna be as a dancer or as a rapper, but the comedy and Def Comedy Jam, it brought it all home for me and made me feel like, okay. And then Bob Sumner.
You know, it's funny, we were in the same stratosphere, so to speak, because I wasn't doing stand-up at the time, but I was at Uptown Comedy Club all the time. Like you were at Tuesday nights. I'm in New York at Uptown Comedy Club.
What year? Because that was 91, 92,
Flex,
right?
When was Flex at his height? Because Flex, I remember Talent was there.
Rob McNatty,
Maceo was
Tracy
there.
Morgan.
Rob McNatty, Tracy Morgan when he had to spin the
yeah.
And Flex would show up. I'm talking about line out the door down the block to get into the Uptown Comedy Club.
Crazy.
And Flex would pull up with like 2 chicks, and the doors would the room would C's would part. And he would walk in and chicks, Flex. And I'm in line like, yo, this dude's the man, yo. Like, he's really that dude. And I would sit in and watch the show and see Tracy and see Macy on just kill and just watch everybody. Like, this is unbelievable just to be around it. And Bob was friends with my brother. So I'm like 14, 15.
Right.
And I'm Chrissy's hanging out with Bob. You know, I'm going to meet Bob Sumner and we're going to the city to eat, going to West Fourth to watch the game and go get some food. And I'm like, yo, Bob, you should put me on Def Jam. And he's like, you don't do stand-up. And I'm like, no, I know, but it looked like so much fun. I just want to go walk out there. Like, I just want to go walk out there on the stage. And he was like, nah, it takes a lot to get on that stage, man. I'm like, Bob, just put me up there, man. Just let me get up there. I'll think of something funny. He was like, nah, you can't just think of something funny. Not having ever touched the mic yet, but I just knew I wanted to do it. And I knew Bob, so I was like, yo, just let me get out there, man. And years later, because come full circle, and Bob be sitting in the room with Russell when I did my first Def Jam set. And then the motherfucker came and hugged me like, I was in the making. It was years in the making. Like, he was like, that motherfucker was there the whole time.
That's a good Bob Sumner, man.
So we was kind of in the same space of like being on the outside of it around the same years. And thinking like, how do I get in? You know what I mean? And then, like I said, Chrissy just made it like, okay, let me stop bullshitting. Because I was in public school, high school, junior high, writing jokes all the time. Just like, and my friends like, yo, you think that's funny? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's a bit. And my friends didn't even know what stand-up was. Like, we just writing funny stuff. What is this?
Right.
And then once I got like around comics, like people that really loved it and was like, yo, look, I got this book.
That's what's crazy.
Shit, that's good.
That's what's crazy is your friends have no idea what that shit is. Cause
right. They have no idea what you're doing.
Who in regular world knows a stand-up comedian? It's such a rare occupation.
Yeah, you probably
and it's the last thing your parents want you to be focusing on.
Right.
The absolute last thing.
My dad cussed me out when I told him I wanted to be a stand-up.
Wait, so did you leave school to do it?
No, I graduated. Okay. I started in 94.
Okay, I started in 98. Okay.
Yeah. I started in 94. That's when that was that first night at the Comedy Zone. When I was like, I'm gonna get the balls to get up on that hot ass Tuesday night and just try 5 minutes of open mic. And the first one went blazing hot. Like if that shit, if I would have got booed off stage, y'all wouldn't know me today. Like y'all would have never have met this nigga. Like I would have been like, nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. But no, the shit worked.
Yeah,
it fucking worked. And
voices, impressions, what'd you do?
All impressions.
Okay.
At the time, I was doing the Bernie Mac voice. Some Simpsons, Fire Marshal Bill. Everybody. I used to really do a lot of Jim Carrey shit. Chris Tucker, I think at the time. Just a lot.
Pissed off, man.
Pissed off, man. But yeah, a lot of fucking voices. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to do what Cool Bubba Ice did.
Right.
That was my motivation. And that shit worked, man. And then again, as you start going on, you start, telling stories about your family. And you just talk about what you know at the time.
Yeah.
And then Bob saw me. I heard about the audition. So wait, I started in 94. Went back to finish out my senior year of of college. And throughout that time, I would still pop in and out. I would drive to Charlotte, go do some stand-up, do some open mic, do some little one-off gigs for $50 here and there. Yeah. But I'm still learning the game. heard about the Def Comedy Jam auditions. It was only like 8 comedians in Charlotte. So it was kind of like a network. Like we would actually call each other. It wasn't a lot of, it was some hatred and brotherly like competition, but we all looked out for each other. So niggas would call me while I was in college. Yo, you should come up next Tuesday, man.
Who was the man in Charlotte at this time? If you can
It was, I do. It was a toss up between Tone X.
Tone X.
Tone X had actually, he was before all of us. Yeah. He had made it to a point where he was touring and selling out clubs and all that stuff. And then my OGs that were kind of like my brothers, but they were my big brothers, but they were before me, was Nick Lewis and DS. I don't know if you know Darren saying DS.
I remember Nick Lewis though.
Yeah. Very, very funny. Nick was like the Bernie Mac of Charlotte. Like he had just a different cadence. And Nick and I were the only 2 out of that group that made it to Def Jam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we taped in 95.
So you said you was in school, they would call each other.
So I was in school, they would call me, they told me that the audition was happening, that Bob Sumner was gonna be at the club and blah, blah, blah. So I drove up, man. I drove up and auditioned. Had a good set. He liked me, but he was like, yeah, you're not ready yet. But, come back next year. Yeah. I was like, okay. All right. But I was excited that he even said that.
Right.
So most niggas would be like, oh, he didn't like me. I was like, oh, shit, he told me to come back.
Yeah, just 1 year? Hell yeah.
What? I don't even been doing that shit for months.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 95 and I was already locked in. That's when I had to have that conversation with my dad. I knew what my plan was. Even though he didn't understand it, I knew that I was going to go to Charlotte and just keep going every week, working out my time, building up more time. And then Bob came back. I think I auditioned again in like July of that summer of 95. Right. And by October, I was flying to New York to do Def Jam. So in the grand scheme of things, I was the equivalent of what most OGs now how they look at social media comics, right? I didn't have a lot of time. I was brand new. I was very green, but Bob saw enough to say no, he has it, and he put me on. And then from there, I never had any airs about me. I never felt like I made it to Def Jam. Now I'm the shit. Right. I opened up. I didn't even headline until I came back to stand up 10 years ago. That was my first time headlining. Right, I used to just feature for niggas.
Wait, you stopped doing stand-up for 10 years?
I stopped doing stand-up for like 16 years.
Okay, well, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's a
yeah. First, I'm going to ask you this. What was the conversation like with your dad about, I graduated, I have a degree, but I'm going to do this thing?
I was about to graduate. This was the thing. So this was months before graduation. So in his mind, I'm going to go to corporate America, do job interviews and all that. He saw me start to grow dreads, and he was like, fuck you doing? You can't go into corporate America like that. Dad, I'm not going to corporate America. I hate to break it to you. He's like, what do you mean you're not going into, what are you going to do then? What is your plan? I said, I want to do stand-up comedy. He said, you ain't never said shit funny around my house?
Around my house?
The fuck are you talking about? They never said shit funny around this goddamn house. Black dad.
Wait. We're going to stop right there. Speaking of black dads, my son's calling to say goodnight.
Oh yeah, you gotta do that.
So what did you major in?
Hold on, let this moment happen.
What are you counting?
Charleston is learning.
Yes. That's no Triceratops has 6 horns, but they just put 6 on that one because it's a cartoon. Wait, how many horns does Triceratops have? But how many horns does a Triceratops have? 3. Right. Yeah, but different Triceratops in different countries
I'm talking about.
Okay, so different Triceratops in different countries have 6 horns, right? Yeah. Okay, hey, you want to say what's up to everybody real quick? Look, Joe Fox. Say hi to Joe Fox.
Charleston, what's going on, buddy?
Say what's up, Joe Fox. Where'd you get it from? Where'd you get it from? Where do we go today? Where do we go today? Tell Joe Fox where we went today.
What did the Haystacks? Did you go to the Haystacks?
No. Hey, say hi to Affion. Say hello to Mr. Affion.
Young King, how are you, sir?
Say what's up.
You good?
Okay, I'm taping the podcast. I'll call you later, okay?
Young's the boy.
All right, look, give me one. Okay, tell them where we went. Adventureland. Okay, I love you to all the planets, okay? I'll call you later, all right? Peace, 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 peace. Black dad, man. You said black dad. I'm like, I got to take this call.
It happens, yeah.
That's the love of my life right there.
Amen.
All right, so you growing dreads. Your pops like go corporate America.
He was like, yeah, nah, that's not a good plan right there. And I was like,
this is a military man, so he's strictly.
So I tell this story often because it's such a lesson in when you believe in you come hell or high water, don't matter who you standing in front of, you got to go with what you know. Yeah. And you have to trust yourself enough to say, I can do it. And so even though I had never done this shit, I didn't know what the fuck entertainment was about. I didn't know how to pursue it. I just knew I needed to do it. And so he was like, yo, man, that's a stupid plan. And I was like, but he didn't know what I knew.
Right.
I went and did the Tuesday night. I went and by that time I had already auditioned for Def Jam. I got the nod that I was good enough to come back to audition again. So my dad didn't realize what I was doing and who I was in front of. He didn't realize that when I went to the Tuesday nights, I was meeting Chris Thomas from Rap City and, the Earthquakes and all these different dope ass comedians.
He didn't have no perspective.
Guy Torrey, Joe Torrey. He didn't know. So I knew that it was very much within reach, but he was just like, man, why would you do that and not give yourself a plan B? And the windows of heaven opened up because I never talked back to my father. Right. And God gave me the answer right there. I said, but Dad, why would I give myself a plan B and tell myself that I'm not good enough for plan A? Why not just put all my energy into plan A and make it work?
Right.
He got mad as fuck and just walked out the room because he had no answer for that. You know what I mean? And then we talked about it a little later and he was just like, he said, I don't know, son. I said, look, Dad, Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, and I just named a bunch of names. I said, all these people come from families just like me. They got dads, they got moms. What makes them different from me? Just because we know them, it doesn't, like they had to have a journey to get to where they are. So why would I not believe that I can do the same things that they can do? Right, you know what I mean? Right. But the blessing in that, even though we had that conversation and he was very scared and hesitant and all of the things, in a very short while, like I said, I booked Def Jam months after that.
Right.
And then he saw me around town after Def Jam. Like I was opening up. I opened up for Bernie Mac in Fayetteville. And he started to see, and he became my biggest fan. Nice. So, that was the blessing. He passed in 21, but my pops was like, condolences. Thank you. But he was like, the biggest moment was after we did, and I'm jumping ahead, but when I shot the movie Soul Man, which was Bernie Mac's last movie, which was another full circle moment for me. Sam Jackson, Bernie Mac, the premiere was in New York at the Apollo. The same spot I went to in 92 and danced and my first big TV appearance. And I was able to bring my whole family. So my dad, moms, 2 sisters, like we all was on the carpet. My dad met Sam Jackson and it was just that moment of him seeing me in a suit on the red carpet alongside Sam doing promo.
With the accomplishment.
He saw it. Yeah, he saw the success. What up, man? My geyser. Yes, sir. We just chatting.
Wait, so was your mother 100% behind you? Because you didn't say no pushback from her.
So my mom was an entertainer.
She wasn't.
When she was younger. She was in Trinidad. My mom was from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
Dancer, singer. She did all the things.
Can you just be from Trinidad or Tobago? You got to be from Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah. You either from one or the other. Because they're 2 separate islands, but they're part of the same, the same entity. Trinidad is the bigger island. But yeah, she's from Port of Spain, Trinidad. And she had aspirations to be a singer, like Diana Ross and all that. That was her thing. And then when she moved to the States, my grandmother just didn't nurture it. She didn't support that dream. So when my
mom,
mom,
she saw it coming full circle with her
she
son.
saw it with me, and she was just like, "Yo, give him hell. Just go out there, give him hell."
That's good.
So yeah, mom didn't fight it. She was scared though. Like Caribbean moms like to coddle, and they want you to stay home as long as you can. And so, she saw the determination, and she understood that I couldn't be told no. Nothing was going to discourage me.
So my mom's similar. We got similar path, bro. My mother was an educator. My mother was a school teacher. So for Chris, it was nah, absolutely not. You getting a degree, you going to college. It was all of that. Like your pops. She was your pops. He blew the money, the fame. So when I was like, I'm gonna do stand-up, I was like, wait, you gonna get checks like your brother? Yes. Bye. Get out of here. See you later. You gonna bring money in like that? Bye. Take care. Yeah. It was no hesitancy whatsoever. Like you going? Good.
And see, that's the part that I left out. It is the older brother determines what's possible for you or what's not possible.
Yeah. Right.
My older brother, when I told you we had that whole argument and we went our separate ways on some 5 Heartbeat shit, when we went and danced and started doing our thing, spotlight was on him. Like, what you gonna do with this rap shit? You say you the man.
Yeah.
What you gonna do with the rap? He didn't do it. So my dad was like nervous.
He's the old fearful of you.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Oh,
so he set the bad example.
Right.
You know what I mean? If he would have killed it and was like became this famous rapper, then of course they'd have been like, yo, shit, yeah, go into the entertainment industry. We have a template now.
Right.
But yeah, the template was the opposite of yours.
We definitely had a template.
Do everything.
My template had a red Corvette in the hood.
The opposite.
Yeah.
What's up, Trey?
Yo, what's good, man? What's
good?
Young Trey.
Yeah, I got a last one to call it. Do some shit at Lion Gates for Tyrese. They was like, yo, you having a little after party or celebration for the new movie that came out.
1992?
Yeah, and it was like, yo, can you be in Lion Gate at 4:30 to host a show? And I was just like, all right.
Nice.
So
it's Lionsgate.
Yeah, he's at Lionsgate.
Oh yeah, Lionsgate.
He's at Lionsgate.
Lionsgate.
I don't want you to miss that movie role because you said the name wrong.
Right.
He said all like that.
Lionsgate. You say scrimps. They're like, okay, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
But you know, it's one of them things corporate, you know, that it was not set up for comedy.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be done in a theater, in one of their theater rooms. But then it's like, no, everybody's already in this room drinking, eating, having a good time, standing up. Let's do it in here. And I was just like, hey, I'm going to be in and out. Let me get this little check and deuces.
You feel defeated?
You
walked in with that defeat.
I hosted it. You know why? So I took all of the pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They try to have me against the rope a little bit, but as a host, you just be like, man, fuck it. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's just do
How
what
much
we
time
do.
did you do? Like, how much time did you do?
I opened it up probably with about 14 minutes.
Oh, okay.
15 minutes.
Well, that's
then
good.
I brought up Chico, and then about to bring up Jamal. Speedy was there, and Speedy was just like, "Hey man, y'all can do it. This ain't my. I'm too old. This ain't my crowd."
Hilarious.
And so that's why I'm late. You know what I mean? My apologies, man. You know
man,
what I mean?
you good. I ain't never mad at getting the money.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But I don't know what I missed, man. So the Apollo.
Jump right in, bro. You missed a lot of good stuff.
Nah, there's a lot of connective tissue in all of our experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't know how much me and him actually have in common, but
right.
So yeah, that's what you missed.
But and you talked about being from Fayetteville, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So people don't know, I lived in Carolina for like a year and a half. So I used to be all up and through Fayetteville.
What part of Carolina?
Spring Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Harnett,
you was in Fayetteville, basically.
Well, Sanford.
Yeah. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been all up and down them back streets.
Yeah, Fort Meade.
Yeah.
All that. Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg. Yeah, Fort Bragg.
No, Spring Lake is basically Fayetteville.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Spring Lake is like what Altadena is to LA or Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Yeah. Right. Or Glendale.
Yeah, I used to party at this only club for teens at the time. Was called the Big Apple.
Yeah.
Did
they used to do stand up there too? They had like a.
I was far removed from there probably by that time.
Yeah, but I know the
this
Big
was
Apple.
like 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Big Apple and all that. Used to be on Merc.
On the Merc.
You on the Merc? Yeah, man.
On the Merc.
On the Merc.
The Merc is notorious.
It sounds like it.
No, right.
They do it. It's a verb.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's public transportation? What's the Merc?
The Merc is a street.
Road.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's the street that my college was on, Fayetteville State University.
Oh, okay.
And it's the notorious street in Fayetteville where they get busy.
Yeah. Everything.
Everything
Hookers,
happens.
drugs,
Everything.
Guns.
Church.
In school.
Funerals.
Yeah,
Parades.
And at college, right?
In
college,
you
right?
get
Yeah.
educated and corrupted all in the same.
Okay, so we going back to the full circle moment. You bring your dad to Apollo.
Everybody's on the carpet.
So all that to say,
go ahead.
I was able to show my father that I really knew what I was doing and I knew what I was talking about. You know what I mean? Even up until he passed away, one of the last things he said was he was watching my stand-up special. He said, "Man, I'm just so proud of you." And looking back on it, I'm like, this nigga knew he was about to die and didn't tell me. You know what I mean?
Man, that's tough. He never knew.
Liver. My dad was an alcoholic. Which is why I don't drink.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shit, everybody in my family.
You either going to drink or not when it's either going to be either or.
Yeah, you either going to do it or you're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody, for the most part, I was surrounded by addicts in my life. So I never smoked weed in my life.
Me neither.
I never?
Never.
That's crazy.
I never smoked a cigarette.
Me neither. Yeah. We got a lot in common. That's wild.
But
I thought it was just skinny niggas looking for food. I was just hungry. But yeah, I never.
I didn't drink till I was 28.
Oh, damn.
28, bro.
Wow.
Late bloomer.
Started comedy. Look, started comedy years into the game. Still not comics. Hey, drink beer. No. One night on stage, 20 girls, one table. Some girl's birthday party. Send them a shot. What'd you say earlier? A lot of hoes. When they send me a shot, I take the shot and put it on the stool. And I didn't know that's taboo. That's taboo.
Yeah.
Whole room like, boo, boo. I'm like, wait, what? I was doing great. Drink the shot. Oh, shit. I didn't know you can't just put a shot down. And the girl comes to the side of the stage like, would you please do the shot with me? And I'm just like, fuck. And I'm looking at it like, it's only this much alcohol.
Yeah.
It can't be that.
Look, is that ready? It's like a movie. Look, ready? I go like this. Clink. 10 years later, now I'm like, what we doing? That's my movie moment. Clink. Hey, nigga, pop them bottles.
It was tequila. It was like
it was a shot of something. Whatever it was horrible because I had never drank. So I was just like, okay, happy birthday. And drinking was on stage like, and muscled through my set. But she was like, thank you. Room was like, Finished my set. Great set. 2 weeks later, somebody on stage,
there you go.
Corrupted him right there.
They got me.
So how did that affect you as far as growing up? Was your dad always drinking growing up? Was that just like something that you already knew?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it from as long as I can remember.
Because my dad is sorry, Pops. Yeah, my dad is yeah. I call him a part-time alcoholic now, but that nigga's still full-time. He about 38 hours a week. So, he's like 40.
He clocks in. Don't necessarily clock out. Man, it affected me greatly. Like it wasn't just him; it was all his friends from the military, all the house parties they would have. I was babysitting adults from the time I was 5. I would watch niggas at the crib, like fall asleep with a cigarette in their hand. I gotta grab the ashtray and catch it before it hits the, you know what I'm saying?
House on fire.
Yeah, so I was just hyper aware of shit from the time I was young, and it just showed me I don't ever want to be out of control of my body and my mind at any point. Yeah. So that's the effect it had on me.
Wow, that's real. That's real. As I'm sitting here drinking Captain Kirk's
Yeah.
rum punch. Make sure you place your order. Order right here. Captain Kirk's making rum punch.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, that's it? Wait, hold up. No.
What?
I was just going into your fathers and shit.
Well, that's what I was just saying, man. Because for me, I wanted to know because I drank. I'm not drinking now, but it didn't affect me in the way I don't carry like how my dad. You know, you got some people that are functional alcoholics. My dad, like my uncles, all his brothers, they were all functional alcoholics, meaning they would drink, still keep their job. You know what I mean?
My dad was too.
Still go to work.
Got mad DUIs, but he was military man. He got demoted a couple times. Alcohol, it was a motherfucking recurring character in his life.
Wow. Okay.
But functional.
Yeah.
Took care of us.
Yeah.
My dad was the greatest man I ever knew.
Wow.
Biggest heart, like took care of everybody. He just had that was his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So
see, my dad he wasn't really functional. He would lose his job, and that was ultimately why him and my mom really got divorced.
Yeah.
Alcohol made that part in it. I remember my dad giving me beer as a baby.
She's like, I can see you drinking, nigga, but if you lose your job, I'm out.
Yeah. Drink all you want. Just keep your job.
Drinks, I ain't staying for no broke ass
that money.
No unemployment.
And it's just like people don't even understand, the effect it has. Because like I tell people all the time, like I'm 40, I'll be 44 in December. I've still never seen my dad drive a car. You know what I'm saying? Never seen my dad operate a vehicle. You know what I mean? As long as I known him, his license, he was never able to, you know what I mean, have a license to drive because of DUIs and he would call it crazy because my dad is from North Carolina. My dad is born and raised in Henderson.
I was about to ask you, why were you living in Spring Lake?
Well, my stepfather was born and raised in Sanford.
Got you.
So, we're from Jersey, but when him and my mom got married and when he retired from General Motors in Jersey, the Jersey cost of living got too crazy.
Everybody migrates down south.
And they was like, yo, we're going to move to North Carolina to where my stepfather was from, Sanford. And now, mind you, I'm a junior in high school. This is my crucial, these are my crucial years. You talking about a grown teenage boy crying? So we moved to North Carolina, mind you, beautiful house because we got Jersey money. I could have skipped my 11th grade year and graduated. I could have graduated from high school my junior year because the curriculum was a year behind. So my junior year in high school in North Carolina was really a repeat of my 10th grade year.
Oh, wow.
All the books, the whole curriculum. I was like, I already did this.
Right.
And they was like, well, you can graduate this year. And my mom was like, no. He's not mature enough already to, moms was always, So that's how I ended up in Sanford, and my dad was born and raised in Henderson, North Carolina. Yeah, which is about an hour outside of Raleigh.
Of course, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about that is when I came back from Germany after the last tour in Germany, they sent us back to Fayetteville. We hated Fayetteville, but they kept sending my dad back to Fort Bragg because his job was just so connected to something at Fort Bragg. He's 82nd Airborne. When we came back, nigga, junior year, the last half of my junior year, talk about depression. I was like, Dad, can we just stay or let me stay with the neighbors? I tried everything to stay and graduate with my friends.
In Germany.
In Germany. I wanted to just graduate with them. I didn't want to go to school in Fayetteville because Westover is fucking...
Westover.
It's that school.
Yeah.
Everybody carry guns.
Are
literally.
You fluent in German?
No. The thing about Germany is Germans speak English, and we lived on American bases.
Oh,
right. It's kind of like you're in a little insulated American city on the army base.
My son's mom is from Germany.
Okay.
And he speaks a little bit. She speaks fluent.
Got you.
He'll throw a few words out every once in a while.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I understand some of it now, but I haven't used it since I was 16.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I understand that depression of being uprooted, displaced, and going to Fayetteville, of all places, in your junior year?
Dude, I'm like, yo, how can you do? But you know what? But I tell people all the time, that was a blessing in disguise.
Same.
Because I so remember, like I said, we had a nice big-ass crib. We lived on a lake. We lived on a golf course in the lake that was security guard gated.
Yeah.
And so we already had to fly. Everybody like, yo, who's this kid? I had all the fly clothes, whatever. But I remember the summer before school started, I played football. Football practice didn't start yet. So I'm just at the house, not really knowing anybody. I knew my stepfather's family, but they lived about 40 minutes away.
Right.
I'm snapping peas in the kitchen with my mom.
I used to do that with my grandmother.
Yeah, my mom, my grandmother, because my grandmother had to come with us because she was older. And I'm snapping peas, me, my mom, my sister already back in Hampton, so she ain't there now. I'm just snapping the peas. I just broke down crying. My mom was like, what's wrong? I was like, man, I'm in here snapping peas. I'm supposed to be. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know nobody. And she was like, it's going to be okay. Just wait till school start. Football practice started. I'm on the football team, school start. And when I tell you, when I went to school, it was like
the hoes.
the boy from up north. The hoes was everywhere. The hoes.
Fayetteville got hoes.
And it like that really boosted my confidence to help me become the man who I am really to this day. That's why I got mad love for North Carolina.
Yeah.
Mad love. I'm like, because the people there treated me good, and I got some of the closest people in my life, friends-wise, from that small time I was there, bro.
Yeah. Same. I mean, Fayetteville made me a man. Like, with all of the how rough the environment was. And like I said, my school is notorious. It was 2 schools, 71st and Westover were rivals.
Yep.
And the E.E. Smith was his own entity, right? But it's real niggas there.
Yeah.
Like, and
people don't realize
coming from Germany, it was some real niggas in Germany too, because everybody's transplants coming from somewhere in the States. Right. But it's something about that concentrated school where it was like all these people that grew up together, and it just kind of like a neighborhood kind of a thing. It helped me be around niggas that typically I should be afraid of, but now I'm one of you. Again, I'm not doing what you're doing. Right. And them niggas was the ones once I got there and I got acclimated and I started performing and doing all my stuff. The hard rock niggas, the ones that was on the block, was the ones that was like, nah, man, you go over, go to the crib, go back. They literally back then, even before I got into like acting and shit, they just saw me dance and they said, yo, go do that Hollywood shit, man. We got you. Like we got love for you, but don't be out here with us.
Let me tell you something. I said it 2 weeks ago on the show. I might have said it 2 weeks before that. Two things. The greatest talent scouts in the world are hood niggas. The greatest talent scouts in the world. Because they will be, all 4 of us be on the corner, right?
Yeah.
And you have a gun on you, I have a gun on me, you have a gun on you, and we'll be like, yo, get out of here, man. This ain't for you. Because we see something in you.
Yes.
And we don't want you to be a part of this. For some reason, they see it before anybody else does.
Yeah.
This guy has potential that does not live on this corner.
Yeah.
Right? I grew up like that. I told the story before. My man June came in the barbershop one day on Howard Avenue. Saw a cat that owed him money. Yo, they start going back and forth. Yo, fuck you, nigga, I'm in the chair. He in the chair. Get the cut. Nigga, you waiting on me, nigga. I ain't moving out the motherfucking chair. Yo, cut my hair, man. June leaves the barbershop, comes back in, closes the door behind him, turns the open to closed, pulls out 2 of the biggest guns I ever saw in my life. And said, yo, Tone, get the fuck out of here. Like everybody else in the shop, Tone, get the fuck out. They see it.
Yeah.
They see it.
Yeah.
Part of that because my brother was a murderer. My oldest brother, the same one that I said spiraled out of control, bodies.
Right.
Like all around the neighborhood, it was like, yo, don't fuck with him. That's little Shabazz. That's little Shabazz. That's little Charles. Don't fuck with him. So that was part of the reason, but also because they saw the potential.
Yeah.
They see something in you that they're like, we are doomed to this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want this for you. Even when they know they shouldn't be in, like, yo, I got no prospects. I'm going nowhere. This is it. This is my plan A.
Yeah.
Right.
But for you, get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
I remember the night that the main nigga said it to me. He was like, because I'd be on the block, me and my boys, we would just be dancing because they'd be out there playing music while they're handling their business, right? So me and we be out there dancing and shit. And my boy, his name was Fahim. He was like, yo, do the spin shit again. Do my little shit. He was like, yo, man, dap, dap, dap. Music cut off. He was like, yo, but you should get away from this block though, man. Like he said, keep doing that Hollywood shit, man. We love what you're doing with that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that Hollywood shit. I knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. And that was the hood protected me from the bullshit. So I never felt the urge like I need to prove something to them like I could do that too. They knew I wasn't no bitch nigga. I was cool. Yeah. You know, I still did my thing. I existed with them, but it was nothing for me to get involved in.
Ain't that the best feeling though, where you could just fit in with everybody, and the hood niggas respect you. You could fit in with them, hang out with them, like I gotta dip, or you could be like, yo, Doe, let me out. Like you could be that nigga, and they not tripping because a lot of them won't even let you in the car. They be like, yo, we about to go do some ignorant shit. Yo, but we'll catch up. We'll catch back up with you. You know what I mean? When we back, then you got the artists, the artist people. You could dance and do theater and drama,
right?
And then you got the athletes. You know, you play sports, whatever. Like you just bouncing around and you fitting in with everybody, and that's kind of North Carolina opened me up to kind of that too. You know what I mean? Right. Just being in a different environment. And I was like, okay, like, I'm in here with everybody, and everybody fucked with me.
And that's what's beautiful about North Carolina, or Fayetteville specifically. It's a military town.
Yeah.
So it's not as country as the other towns, because everyone from all over is moving there.
A little bit of culture.
Yeah. It's a little more culture. Yeah. So you get to.
So was it like for me it was in junior high school especially. So I was in junior high school in my neighborhood, like in Bed-Stuy, right down the street. IS 271. Wow. Our rival was 55. So some days like, yo, 55 coming up here today. We got a report that 55 is coming up at lunchtime. So they would come walking down the street, brawls in the street. Like, people getting robbed and everything. Some days it was just our school against each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had the leather bomber, and I had the Shelto Adidas, and I had the black Kango like LL, and I had the Gazelles with no lenses, right? I was that kid.
Yeah.
And I would come out of school and literally see kids getting their leather bombers ripped off their backs.
Jack.
And they sneakers taken off their feet. And the kids robbing them. Yo, chill, rock good. Yo, rock good. And it was because I was funny.
Right.
It was like literally I had these dudes laughing in school all day. They outside robbing. Yo, no, not rock good. Yo, he funny than a motherfucker. That, and then when they saw that I could play basketball, because I was trying to be my brother Shabazz. Oh shit, rock a ball too? Yo, he good. So was that something like that with you with the dancing?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I got to the school, a lot of these niggas I grew up with. Meaning, because I told you we went to Germany twice.
Right.
So I saw niggas.
It was bigger.
Kindergarten and then 5th grade and 4th grade. So I would see these niggas. We was all grown now, and then they respected the talent. They respected. I was somewhat goofy, but I was still kind of just quiet. I just did my own thing, but I just knew everybody. I became the guy that just knows everybody. So it's kind of like who I am today in Hollywood. I know everybody, but you rarely see me out. I just don't feel the need to always be out. I'm still reclusive. I'm still kind of shy when it comes to that. I'm an introvert, but I know everybody. Fayetteville was the connective tissue for me of being able to exist in an environment that, whether it be happy, sad, gangster, or churchy, whatever it was, I could exist and people just accept me for me.
Yeah. You've never been caught up in anything too. Like in 18 years that I've been out here.
Wasn't dancing at no puff parties.
Yeah. I'm sure
that's not true. I've done some dancing at puff parties, but the actual party. That's what I'm saying. Like niggas is being real.
I was outside
right now.
I never been in the house.
I ain't been to no after party.
Right.
Private parties. Yeah. But if you are a who's who in Hollywood,
you've been to a puff party.
To get an invitation to a puff party was like you was like,
oh shit, I made it. Like,
nigga, what?
Yeah.
I was at the white party before. But it was a day party. We was on the lawn. It's like a fucking cookout. But we all have been to some form of puff parties. Right. The public ones.
The public, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did my little ditty dance, shoulders and shit. But I sleep peacefully at night. I ain't on nobody videotape. Look.
Right. Pinky out, comfortable.
So you have been in your career is so dope to me, man. Like your career.
Thank you, man.
Bro, you just a dope person to me. You already know. I think the most of you.
And we rocked Aruba was where we connected on the stand-up tip, because I had just come back to stand-up.
Yo, okay, so that's what I'm gonna get to. All right, so let's talk about this right now. Let's put this little box together. Why did you leave stand-up? 16 years? What made you come back?
I left stand-up because I was heartbroken. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. So I went to Fayetteville State University right off the Merc. And when I graduated, that's when I did Def Comedy Jam. That's when I had the whole conversation with my father and booked Def Jam. And then I was always very close to like the administrative staff there. I just had a lot of mentors there that I still stayed in touch with. And they would call me like, hey, can we do a comedy show? Do you know any comedians? So instead of them going to big booking agencies and getting dragged for the price, I was able to call my boys up and like Ricky Smiley and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tone X and Barbara Carlisle, Nick Lewis. Yeah. So I was able to call these people and put on shows. Something about in the Bible says Jesus could do no miracles in his hometown. So when I would come back, some of the students that were still there, or like some of the younger students, they would give all the other comedians love, but they would start hating on me as a host. You know what I mean? So one of the last shows I did there, for whatever reason, I didn't even say nothing yet. I'm just walking to the stage and niggas was like, boo, boo.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, nigga, I live in LA now. I'm broke, but I'm making my way out here to do this shit for y'all. And y'all niggas, y'all my home, and y'all niggas is like turning on me like this. And for me, it was like, if my hometown could do this to me, and because I didn't understand the scope of how the world works, but I was like, if my hometown could do this to me, then the rest of the world is probably gonna do me worse. So fuck this stand-up shit. And then I started doing all the math of like, yo, I just wanna be a dope actor. You know what I'm saying? And I just started going on a list of like, Denzel ain't never did no stand-up and this and that. So I just started doing that type of math. And I was like, yeah, I'm done with stand-up. I don't love this shit. It was a means to get me to LA. I'm here now, so I'm just gonna pursue this acting shit. In between all of that was a lot of commercials. I was doing CSI New York and all them drama shows. I was always playing the same character, the nigga that was snitched to the cop. So I was doing a lot of that, a lot of commercials, some dance gigs too, choreography. I was doing a lot of stuff in between that. Wilding Out happened.
Okay, wait, can I put a pin right there? We'll come back to Wilding Out. Yeah. You do know that what happened in Fayetteville was because niggas, and I don't mean black people, I mean niggas.
Yeah, we know the difference.
Once you get successful, niggas see their failures in your success.
No, I knew that.
So they sitting there
after the fact
at Fayetteville State, and you already left and went full circle. Now you coming back putting on shows. That makes them say, he's doing all this, and I've been in this chair the whole time.
Yeah.
So boo.
Yeah.
Niggas see their failures in your success.
That's why Jesus could do no miracles in his
hometown. Because it's like, yo, how the fuck?
Too familiar.
Nigga, I know you from down the street.
You the carpenter.
Now you walking on water and shit, son. So now you feed niggas with one piece of fish and bread. Like, you can't do it. Because niggas, that's why you know Jesus. Another way you know Jesus was black. Because niggas will see their failures in your success.
100%.
That's what it was. So go ahead.
But again, in the moment, I didn't know that.
I know.
It was just the heartbeat of it all.
I got to give the message to people watching as well.
100%. Yeah. But that was the realization that I came to afterwards. And
I go to Brooklyn. The love I used to get, like when I first left, coming home for like a weekend, 99% love. 1% like, man.
Yeah.
Now I've been going for a minute. Come back. 75. Like, all right, Tone.
He said it's going down.
25. Man, fuck that nigga, yo.
Yeah.
Fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do.
No, hate's going up. Because I've been working the whole time.
Yeah.
I've been working the whole time. You know me now. You've seen me on quite a few things, bro. Your girl likes me.
He said your girl.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now, when it was 99%, now it's like 75. Like, yo, nah, he from right there. And I still try to do the same stuff. I try to like go to the block and go to the projects and sit with my dudes and I see the like, and I'm like, nah, I can't.
You can't. There's some things you just can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw a dude, I swear I saw this yesterday, dude on Instagram, on TikTok, one of them, and was like, yo, black people glorify ignorance. A nigga will say like, well, a dude will tell another nigga like, yo, you can't come to the block no more. And to prove him wrong, he'll go stand on the block and do nothing with them. To show them like, I can still do this. But y'all not doing shit productive.
Right.
Why would I need to stand here?
Yeah, why is that a badge of honor?
Why is that why is that like a plus for me that I can stand here and do nothing with y'all?
They still stuck in that
like box. My time too valuable. I don't want to stand here and do this anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was watching that shit yesterday, like, yo, he fucking, bruh, you said that shit.
Yeah.
Some people that's never gonna progress.
I don't be in the projects always talk about, what do you say? I don't have to be in the projects all day, talk about how I be in the projects always. Yeah.
All right, so Wilding Out happens.
Yeah, so Wilding Out happens. And I'm still funny. I'm still clicking on, and this is, Wilding Out, and then the YouTube shit starts to happen. So Wilding Out is the perfect show for me, right? It's rap, it's comedy, it's dance, it's impressions, it's this and that. And so I
a lot of hoes.
A lot of hoes. Yeah, nah, Wilding Out was the shout out to Nick Cannon, by the way. Speaking of a lot of hoes. Nick, he don't get talked about enough. Like, this nigga's really the young black Lorne Michaels of what we do.
Right.
He's found a lot of motherfucking stars of today, right? You look at 85 South, they all
Wilding Out.
You know,
Wilding Out.
Shout out 85
the catalyst was Wilding Out. But no, he knew that the show would do wonders for me. And that was when people started to know me as Affion Crockett. The guy from Wild 'N Out. Like, that's the dude right there. As opposed to, oh man, I think I seen you on Def Jam years ago or this and that. So yeah, Wild 'N Out happened, and then movies started to happen from Soul Men, A Haunted House, Roscoe Jenkins. So my resume starting to get a little bigger. Then while Wild 'N Out was happening, I started discovering this YouTube shit, and I started doing viral videos before anybody was Vine and TikTok. I was doing all them parody videos of Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Drake, all these people, Russell. And it was just building a whole nother ecosystem for me. And so when Wild 'N Out had gotten canceled at one point, a lot of people don't know the backstory. Wild 'N Out had gotten canceled, and MTV just kind of felt like they wanted to move on from something else, right? Nick had married Mariah, and that was a whole spectacle, and that's what that was. But he saw the vision, and he kept wanting to bring it back. So he went to MTV2, and they finally said yes. So anyway, all in between that time, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And shit wasn't easy for me at that time, right? And I had this damn, I lost my train of thought.
Wasn't easy.
Is this where the idea for the
After
show
Wild 'N Out?
came?
No. The Fox show happened.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Fox show.
Yeah.
So YouTube got me the attention of Fox via my boy Carl Jones from the Boondocks. Now, me and Carl is from Fayetteville too. He went to high school with me at Westover. A lot of people don't know that. So this is my guy. So he calls me one day. He's like, "Man, do you have an idea for a sketch show?" I was like, "Well, I've been doing sketch on YouTube for all these years." Chopped up a reel. We met with a production company that had a direct line to Fox, and we sat with these motherfuckers. Man, they saw the reel. By the time we hit the parking lot, my agent was calling me saying they want to do a deal.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that's the thing that got me to Fox. So fast forward through that, because the whole Fox story is something I need to put in a book, and it's just too much to tell.
Yeah, because that Jamie Foxx executive produced that one. Yeah.
But it didn't go. They gave us 6 episodes, summertime, bad time slide, all the shit, right? So going through that
nobody's in the house at 8 o'clock on a Friday,
on a Sunday,
not a black person in the summertime.
Yeah, it was something crazy. It was something crazy. So going through that that embarrassment, that what I call a failure. A lot of people was like, "No, you actually won by getting that shit." I saw it as, damn, what's my next move? And that was the thing that made me say, Chris, when he did his whole journey with In Living Color, SNL, he thought those was gonna be his things, his breakout moments. Didn't happen. And I remember hearing him in interviews saying, he just said, fuck it, I'm gonna focus on stand-up. I'm gonna go back to stand-up. Fuck Hollywood. I don't care about it no more. I just want to do da-da-da. I heard his story. And then Kev, I was with Kev.
Right.
At that time, we was at auditions together. And I remember we was in the car. We, for whatever reason, we was carpooling. Me, him, Royale, and I think it was one other person in that car. Anyway, we was in Chris Spencer. We was in the car, and I remember Kev saying, "Yo, man, I figured it out. I figured out this family shit in my set. It's gonna be the thing. It's gonna be my thing. I figured it out." And at the time, I wasn't doing stand-up, but I'm just listening to him. I'm trying to memorize the lines to the audition. And literally from that day is when Laughing My Pain, like everything just started to speedball from that moment of him just seeing that vision. So when I had the Fox situation happen, I said, how can I position myself to still be in control of my destiny without someone else having a say-so in it?
Right.
Stand-up. I started in stand-up. Stand-up got me all this other shit. Wild and out. Stand-up got me to LA.
Right.
So I was like, all right, because I was heartbroken from that situation at school, I had convinced myself that I hated stand-up. Niggas was trying to get me back to doing stand-up for years. Evan Lionel, Chris Spencer, Marlon Wayans, like all these niggas was like, yo, Abe, you was good. Like, why? How you not?
Yeah, right.
Joey Wells, Rodney Perry, all these niggas was like, nigga, how you not doing stand-up? And this was like 15 years, 16 years.
Wow. Damn.
And it was to the point where I couldn't even think like a stand-up. I didn't know how to write jokes. I didn't know none of it. My mind was sketch and just being, you know, funny with viral videos and all that stuff. And yeah, so once I decided, I said, all right, I'm looking at all the guys that took their stand-up destiny into their hands, from Chris, Kevin, Aziz, Louis C.K. They built industries out of stand-up. My man Russell Peters. I was like, fuck that. Stand-up is, all I need is a mic and a stage and my brain and my creativity. And no studio can tell me anything about that. Right. And that's when I went back.
That's why I love it. That's why I love it.
10 years ago.
That's why I love it. I shot my special myself, all my own money.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a deal, shopped it. Nobody, all right, bet. Went.
Remember I saw you in a club, one of the clubs that I was like, yo, man, congrats on that. Like, I commend you on that.
So now I know, I don't need to wait for the industry. Like,
I shot my special too.
I'm gonna write jokes forever.
Yeah, I shot mine in 2019.
I will always have this fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't gotta wait. Yeah, and I remember you shot yours.
Yeah.
It was good. It was dope. I remember when you came back, because I had a night in Northridge with Larry Wack, Kenny Wack. You know what I mean? In Soul Station. You came and was working your
I was working
your stuff out.
And then we was in Aruba for Memorial Weekend, I think it was.
Yeah, it was something. The Soul Beach
Festival.
Jazz Festival. Yeah.
So the year before, me, my sister, my man White, we was like, yo, we going to Aruba for Memorial Weekend. Just picked it randomly. On the plane, all the way there, everybody like, yo, you here for the festival? Like, we seeing other actors and celebrities like, yo, you going for the festival? What festival? We going to hang out. We just going to chill.
Right.
At the layover, before we fly to, yo, you here for the festival? Mad people like, yo, wow, so. Yeah. You here for the festival? What festival? Yo, we just going to chill for the weekend. And then somebody worked with the festival was like, yo, are you on the show? I'm like, what show?
Right.
What show? Comedy show. I'm like, nah, I was just going for the weekend. So I came to all the shows and saw all the, I saw the Ozzy Brothers. That shit blew my mind. I love them niggas forever.
Crazy.
And then they was like, well, we got to get you back next year. Because I didn't do any of the events. Yeah. And the next year I came back and saw you.
Yeah.
And it was an outdoor venue. And Chris Spencer was hosting, I believe.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker went in. Nice. And I was just like, I knew, because no one had really seen stand up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, seen it. Yeah.
But I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Like he really, I think you could even see it in my face afterwards.
No, you said it. You pulled me aside. You was like, nigga, like I got mad respect for you because I never saw.
I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know. It was, I knew you did it. I didn't know it was like that, bro. Yeah. I didn't know it was like that.
And to get that stand from you, because I know who the niggas are. Yeah. We all know, who really does this shit.
This can't validate you, then it feels a lot better.
Yeah, I was like, man.
And I had just come back to it. So by the time we did Aruba, I had already started headlining. Just, building up my steam, building up those sets, getting that time in. I threw myself to the wolves because I was scared. I was like, oh shit, I'm working out at the Ha-Ha and I'm doing all these little.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
You had a weekly there joint, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, me and Alfonso, we had that weekly joint. Yeah, and that's when I really started to build it up. And I was scared, but I threw myself to the wolves. I booked a gig. Yeah. I had to go headline the Stardome, Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
Big ass joint. And I went there. That was my first time doing an hour. And I forgot my set after 5 minutes, nigga. And that's when I learned the trick of I write my notes on my phone. Yeah. Just in case. I have an outline on my screensaver. And so, you go to your freestyle bag, like, look at this nigga outfit. Da, da, da. And then I got back on track and then I was able to just figure it out. And then by the time we did the second show, it was me and Justin Hires. Justin came out with me.
Yeah, shout out Justin Hires.
On the road. And we both was puppies at that Stardome shit. But our second show, it was like we graduated and had capes on. Yeah. We just found a rhythm. We just needed to get that first one out, get the jitters out. We did motherfucking stand-up live in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a good room.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The rhythm was there. The timing was there. Like I really was like, okay, I can headline now. So by the time we got to Aruba, I was comfortable. So when they called me for the gig and they was like, because you know, I don't accept shows, especially those combination shows.
Ensemble.
Yeah. I don't like doing none of those shows unless it's somebody I really fuck with. Right, so when they said his name, no brainer. Yeah. Like I opened up for this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I had no ego about it. It was like, nah, it's going to Aruba, respect, it's for Tony Rock. Cool. And it was hot as fuck too.
Ain't that a beautiful thing, like to just not have an ego in this shit? Like I'm on a tour right now. It's an ensemble tour. I leave in the morning. I'm going to Cancun for 2 days. Some more, Lavelle, Tony Roberts, me, Tommy's on some of the dates. Yeah. Arnez is on some of the dates. And sometimes some venues, I don't know if they got stuff going on. Like, I don't want to close, man. I don't want to headline because I got to get out. And I'm always like, I'll go last. Okay. Right. Like, I'm not on I'm not on it like that, bro. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be. I literally snuck into the Beacon Theater one year to see Samoa on New Year's Eve. Right. Samoa, Earthquake, and Joe Claire did the Beacon Theater in New York City on New Year's Eve. I went all the way up there, no money, no ticket. Just outside, like, how the fuck can I get in this venue? And I see the dude pushing the green garbage can out from the side, the big dumpster, you know, the big joint. And I just grabbed the other end and pull it out with him. Like I was with him the whole time. And he's pulling it and pushing him like, oh, wait, hold on. Curb. And I turn it, he's just like, huh, what? I'm like, curb, okay. And we dumped the shit, and he closed the top, and we walked right back in, and that motherfucker never said nothing. Like, he thought I was there the whole time. He did some work. Inside, I went and washed my hands in the bathroom, and was in the lobby the whole time, like, yo. And the show started, I just stood on this side, and the usher's like, you're gonna move. I went to the other side, went over here, watched the show, went to the other end, watched the whole show, went backstage, met Cleese. No, I knew Cleese. Met some more. Told Quake who I was. Oh, man, Chris' brother, man. What's up, bro? You need a drink or something? Like, just there. Yeah. So I never had a big head, none of that. Plus, my brother's one of the best motherfuckers ever. Right. How could I be on something like, you know who I am? Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just a beautiful thing to talk to a comic. It's like, yo, man, I'm not even on it like that. Like, I just want to work.
You can. And it sounds like with all that hustle you did just to get into the Beacon, we have a love for this shit. Yeah. There's a homage that I always pay. You would have to do something real disrespectful to me and my family for me to be on some shit with you. Yeah. If you pave the way for me to do this, I don't care what level I think I'm at, or what level my finances say I'm at or not. Eddie is fucking Eddie. Yeah. I ain't never gonna be better than Eddie or try to son Eddie on some Arsenio is fucking Arsenio. Yeah, these niggas is kings. Yeah. So that's how I treat everybody. Like the same love you have. Like Earthquake is my OG. Earthquake that's my actually he discovered me.
Yeah. Yo, I did his room, the room he does monthly.
The Comedy Chateau.
Yeah, I did it last month. Destroyed the room. Right. And he came on stage and gave me like a pound, hugged me. I said, bro, I would never disrespect a room that you have your name on by not coming in here and blowing this motherfucker up. The fact that you invited me, I'm like, I'm tearing this building down brick by brick. Right. Because I love you that much. I don't want nobody leaving like, man, Tony Rock was all right. Not on no Quake show. Right. Yeah. The OG, the big homie, Triple OG invited me. It's my duty to destroy this building. To justify, yo, I called him for y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm on.
Quake, before Bob Sumner, Quake saw me at Comedy Zone in Charlotte. He paid me my first money in comedy ever.
Oh, wow.
First comedy Atlanta, Uptown, when it was still on Peachtree up in Buckhead.
That's where I started.
Upstairs in the plaza. Nigga, first $200. And it was a Steve Harvey weekend. You know what I mean? Yeah. Steve Harvey and Talent was there. Wow. Crazy combination, but both of them niggas But both of them niggas destroyed. Yeah. Like it was a blessing to be that early in the game. Yeah. Have a nigga like Earthquake see some talent in me, bring me down to Atlanta, put me on that stage with those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was crazy. And then to be a student and watch them do their weekend and how masterful them niggas was. It was, so for that reason, I don't have an ego. The only time I feel like I get an ego is when somebody's trying to play me. Yeah. Then you go into your shit like, yo, like
who the fuck I am? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, outside of that, man, I had no ego with doing that show. We had a blast down there. We was at the after party. We was kicking it.
Yeah, was eating.
And I was eating pizzas and all kinds of shit.
And a lot of
it was hoes. Boy, Aruba was something else.
I got 2 questions for you before I let you go. I don't know if y'all have questions, but so you said the heartbreak. You said the heartbreak of them being like boo when you came out in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Was that a bigger heartbreak than having your own show
Canceled.
on Fox and it get canceled?
Actually, yeah, because that heartbreak made me quit.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
The Fox show, nigga, I was back at it. I went right back to YouTube. Right. I dropped a Drake parody, the eyebrows joint. Mm-hmm. And that shit went millions and millions, and the whole blogs was like, oh shit, Affion, he ain't missed the beat. Yeah. So it was encouraging. And then that's when Marlon came about. Yo, come jump in this haunted house movie with me. Part 2. Malcolm Lee. Yo, I got this movie. I got this. So I started working even more after the Fox show. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
that door closed.
When they thought, they think they can break us. Mm-hmm. And to some degree they can, right? You have to play the game with some ounce of decorum, right? Like you ain't never heard me on no podcast or no nothing shitting on the network and just saying, fuck them. And this, I didn't go that route. I just was like, all right, it's a show. Every show gets canceled, niggas. Right. Mm-hmm. Even the successful ones. Yeah. They all get canceled. Mm-hmm. It's just time to do something else. Time to work again. Keep fucking working. Mm-hmm. So I had more success after the show than prior. So yeah.
So with the show being canceled, and it was such a dope concept.
It wasn't dope.
It was the concept. I said a dope concept.
Oh, got you.
Dope concept. But with the show being canceled, what's the next thing? What do you want to do? Like, what's your white whale? What's your, to this day, I still want to,
Karate flick?
I have one of those.
Okay.
Really, it's just the ability to greenlight shit. That's my big thing. So, I mean, a hip hop story, right? That was me saying, again, on another level, I know Hollywood is not going to come knocking on my door. Mm-hmm. Same thing I did with the stand-up special. I was like, I'm going to put my own bread up. HBO ain't going to come offer me nothing. Netflix ain't ever going to offer me shit. I'm going to shoot my own shit and show them that I can really do it. Not just do stand-up and do a good set, but I can produce the fuck out this thing off a small budget and make it look like it's supposed to be on HBO or Netflix. Or even better than what y'all got. So, same thing with a hip-hop story. I said, I'm going to put my own bread up. I'm making enough money to where first of all, I don't know how these niggas make their money in town. But if you pay your taxes, you understand. I'm a corporation, right? So I set my finances up to where I get paid through the corporation.
Rock the World Incorporated.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
First person entertainment.
I pay at the end of the year, right? Before the year is out, you have until January 1 to expense toward your company, right? Business expenses. So I was like, shit, I made a killing this year. I don't want to write just a blank check to these niggas that wasn't there shooting in the gym with me. You know what I'm saying? I have until January 1, nigga, I can afford to shoot this movie. I wrote that movie in 2008. 8?
Wow.
2008. But because it's about hip hop history.
Were you shopping it the whole time or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a couple deals and potential different directors wanted to do it. It went through a lot of different hands. Only to, not have anything happen. So by the time I had the money to do it, it's about hip hop history primarily. All I had to do was go in and tweak a couple of like the modern day references. Instead of 106 in Park, I put the Joe Budden podcast and Funk Master Flex. So my ultimate is to be able to greenlit, to be a production company entity like everybody else that's successful, like Kevin Hart, Issa Rae, Mark Wahlberg. Like that's my ultimate, is to be able to do that kind of shit and just have studio backing and be able to put my homies on, like to be able to work with people that I respect and fuck with, and we make funny, dope shit.
Now, the last time we spoke, we didn't actually speak. David Talbot called me.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, I'm sitting here talking to Affion. And he was like, he said your name. And I was like, yo, bro, I wasn't thinking about you until he said your name. He was like, yo, I'm putting you in this next thing I'm doing. Like the next project I'm working on, I'm gonna put you in it. And I was like, all right, bet. And I was getting on the plane to go somewhere. And I was like, I'll call you when I get back next week.
Yeah.
But it was like, y'all was talking and my name came up.
That's what I'm saying.
So whatever happens from that, I appreciate that. Just
100%.
You mentioned me.
And that's the kind of nigga I am. Again, no ego.
Yeah.
Most niggas would be like, nah, don't call Tony Rock or don't call. I was like, nah. He said something, a movie concept that he had, and he mentioned Bed-Stuy.
Oh, okay.
Me being the nigga that observes and knows a little bit about everybody, he was like, yo, who's like some of the most authentic Brooklyn comedians that you know? I said, Tony Rock, one. Bed-Stuy specifically. I know he's from Bed-Stuy. I was like, JB Smooth. There's Ian Edwards. Like, I started saying some names, but you was the first name I said. And I was like, Tone is the guy that if you get him attached to this project, he's going to be able to bring in niggas that he knows. He's going to be able to reference it. So anyway, we had a whole conversation. When I brought your name up, because he fucks with you heavy. Let me call that nigga right now.
That's my guy.
Nigga, he called you immediately.
Yeah, that's my bro, man.
Same.
I fuck with Dave for real.
It's dope for me to hear you say that you want to be in a position to green light stuff. Because I remember when me and my like writing partners and my crew, we had came up with a project that we were doing a web series, and I was like, yo, and this was before everybody was like kind of popping in our class or our class right above us, and I'm the one that know everybody. So I was like, yo, we had my homegirl Candace, who was Iris on The Flash. So she's doing big things. We had her in there. But before we got her, we was like, yo, we should get Tiffany. This was before she blew up. I was just naming. But we was like, yo, how can we get it on? How could we get it on? I was like, you know what? If I could get Affion to be like a producer / distributor and put it on his YouTube channel, and he could be the executive producer of it to be done. And you took a meeting with us, and it was called Have a Bad Day.
Right.
Where you know, where people would be like talking shit about you on social media, and we would approach them and we was the messengers. So if somebody said something about you, I would be like, Tony Rock, all right, this is from so. Fuck you, nigga, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Then we'll leave a card, have a bad day. You know what I mean? So we owned a company that would, you know, kind of do those messages, man. And it was up, but just, you know, we was talking, man, because we was always cool.
Right.
But just, you know what I mean? Just to have that idea, man, it was like, yo, Afe got such a big platform and he doing such good things. You know, that's where I was thinking at that time.
Yeah,
man.
I remember watching it, and we chopped it up about it.
Yeah, we chopped it up about it, man. But that's what we got to start doing.
Absolutely.
Well, you've already.
Well, shout out to Ron G, Kanisha Buss, Brandon Lewis, Microphone Masters. That's a show that I did with Xfinity Comcast, and it's on Zumo Play. But that was me saying, all right, let me produce some specials for these guys that we know that can kill it. They've been out here for a minute, but they're not gonna get that look. You know, Hollywood don't knock on all of our doors at the same time. So
it was at the film festival. It was well received.
ABFF.
ABFF.
Yep. So that's my ultimate is to just be able to greenlight shit. I want to just be able to call you, nigga. I don't want you to have to go to no fucking casting director. I hate that shit. I casted my whole movie just off text and like, you know what I'm saying? So that's really the ultimate. And part of the reason why I came here today, Fox hit me up. I don't be talking to people's podcasts. I don't go to people's shit because everybody has a podcast now. It's not it's the same shit.
Right.
And I don't respect everybody. It's not to knock anyone. I don't respect everybody.
Right.
But once he sent me the link and I saw the three, I was like, I'm on the 8th, nigga. I got you. Say less. So I just had to say that to y'all because y'all always show me love. It's always love with all three of y'all. But just so y'all know, even though I may not talk a lot when you see me, I may be dolo, but just know that I fuck with each and every one of y'all. And for sure. It's not a question of if I'm gonna pull up. Or not.
I like. You got any gigs coming up? You want to talk about anything working on?
Next one I got is Thanksgiving, Richmond, Virginia, Richmond Funny Bone, the 29th and 30th of November, and then I'm taking the rest of the year off, baby. A Hip Hop Story. You can watch it today. hiphopstory.com and check out Microphone Masters on Zumo Play. That joint is free. You can stream all 3 episodes.
Fuck.
This weekend, October the 12th, I'll be at the Ice House in Pasadena. Doing a set there. I'm looking forward to that. And I've just been mad auditioning, man. It's like 3 in like doing 2 days and shit like that. It's like, yo, man, like how am I gonna get all this?
Knock them out, man, because you got to knock a certain amount out before that one pop, and you in there.
Yeah. Ice House.
What you?
Saturday with Joe Feezy. Buddy Lewis show on the 13th at the Ha Ha. And shit, I got a few other things going on. Still on my workout. Was in the gym 5:45 this morning.
Nice.
Down 21 pounds.
Oh yeah, good.
At 21% body fat. You know the goal is 15%.
Come on, man.
Nice.
Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying? I did take a little bit of tequila and did this with my gums with it because I haven't been drinking. I got a little taste. But nah, man, it's going good, man. I just been so focused. I've been so locked in. Got a meeting with this management on the 14th. I'm looking forward to, man. That I met when I went to Vegas for Heartbeat Weekend.
Nice.
I wasn't on anything on Heartbeat Weekend, but I was just like, yo, let me just go out there and just shake some hands.
Right.
I did that, shook some hands. Big Ben, you know, he's a pretty decent manager. He was like, yo, fuck with you, man. He's like, yo, you really funny. Came, saw me at Crack 'em Up, and then I did DL's show, and he happened to be at DL's show. I didn't know he was going to be there. Killed that, and he was like, at the Ice House. And then he just texted me. He was like, yo, let's do dinner, yo. I was like, bet. Oh. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to that, man. So the energy is shifting. I feel a lot of good things. When you locked in and focus on one aspect of your life, then so many other things start opening up, man. So, you know, bro.
Shout out to Nichelle Murdoch. She's got 21 years.
When's the anniversary show?
It's this Thursday. Yeah, 21 years in the Belly Room.
I'll be out of town. I'm on a plane in like 6-7 hours.
Thursday?
Okay. I'm heading to Cancun.
I'm in Houston tomorrow.
I'm doing I think it's called Sweat Fest.
Okay. Yeah.
Cancun. I'm in Cancun tomorrow and Thursday. Friday I'm in Boston at the Wang Theater. Saturday I'm in Atlantic City at Boardwalk Hall. Sunday, I'm on a plane from Atlantic City to Vegas to catch the Steelers and the Raiders. And Monday, I'll be back home, and I'll be back here Tuesday doing this all over again, yo. So, Afe, I want to thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother.
Love.
Bro.
Yeah. We bucket hat in the team, bucket hat,
man. Crazy. I almost wore white. I had the white one in my hand, like, but my brother on vacation. I'm like, son, you're killing me right now. Right. But, yo, much respect to you, bro.
Yes.
And likewise, you already know.
Love it. Great story. Yes. So much we didn't even cover. So
I know, man. We got to get you back one day.
That's it, y'all. Live in the green room. We out. Charleston, I love you. Go to bed.
Peace.